Good morning, my beautiful pupils at home. You are welcome to today's class. This is Primary 5, and today I'm going to be taking you on agricultural science. You are welcome. This morning we're looking at the topic pre-planting activities. I know in our previous class we learned about different types of crops. We learned the legumes, the cereals, the tubers, and fruits and vegetables. Today we are looking at pre-planting activities. What are pre-planting activities? The word pre means before. And having that as a knowledge, we say pre-planting activities are the work we do on our farmland before planting of crops. The work we do on our farmland before the planting of crops. And there are procedures to planting of crops. You don't just get a farmland and all of a sudden, oh, I've seen a farmland, you just start planting. No, there are procedures before planting. So these are the procedures we'll be looking at this morning. The procedures for raising farm crops are: number 1, choice of site. Number 2, land clearing. Number 3, stumping. Number 4, preparation of bed and ridges for crop planting. Number 5, planting of crops. And number 6, selection and transplanting of seedlings. Now I'm going to be taking the explanation one after the other. Number 1, choice of site. Now, as a farmer, you want to plant your crops. The first thing you do is to choose a farmland. Choose a place where you plant your crops. After you have done that, we go to land clearing. You clear the land. When you have gotten your site, you clear the land. Clearing involves the removal of what? Grasses and other plants before you plant your crops. Number 3 is stumping. What is stumping? Stumping is the removal of big roots from the soil. After clearing, sometimes there might be stubborn roots that are on the soil. So you have to remove them so as you have a good place to plant your crops. So the removal of these stubborn big roots from the soil is known as stumping. Number 4, preparation of bed and ridges for crop planting. Now, this is the building of a cone-shaped hill with soil on our farmland. And when you build this cone-shaped hill, you leave the other part of the land flat. You build another cone-shaped hill, you leave the other part flat. Now, this cone-shaped hill is known as ridges, while the flat part is known as beds. There are crops we plant on ridges and there are crops we plant on beds. Crops like vegetables, tomatoes, beans can be planted on beds, while crops like root crops like cassava, yam, cocoyam, and potatoes can be planted on ridges. Now let's move to the 5th one, which is planting of crops. When you have done all of this, the next thing you do is to go and plant your crops properly. Now, in planting of crops, you can plant your crops in a nursery. You can also plant directly on your farmland. Now, the process of planting in a nursery is to plant those crops and allow them to grow a little bit before you transfer them to the farm. Now, that takes us to number 6, selection and transplanting of seedlings. Now, when you have planted your crops on the nursery, you move them to the field, that is your farmland. The process of moving your crops, your seedlings, which are already grown out, from the nursery to the farmland is what is known as transplanting. So we say transplanting is the moving of crops, the moving of seedlings rather, from the nursery to the farmland. And finally, we'll be looking at, we say crops can locally be grown in our school garden by using their seeds. Like I said, these crops that you use seeds to plant are planted on beds. So let's look at the crops we can plant on beds once again. We have maize, we have okra, we have beans, we have pumpkin, etc. I hope you enjoyed today's class. Till we meet again, stay blessed. Bye.